Welcome back to the Perfect Auto channel. One of the questions that I get asked repeatedly regarding brake work is, when can I resurface my rotors and when do they have to be replaced? So rather than me just try to explain it to you, I pulled together a couple of rotors for us to take a look at together. So let's check this out. All right, the first rotor we have, you can see is definitely worn. However, if you run your fingers along it, you'll see that there's really not any major grooves, no etching, no real indications of any type of rust. And if we put it on its side here, you can see that the it's a vented rotor. You can see there's still a lot of metal here on the rotor on both sides. So this would be a rotor that we could typically resurface and it wouldn't have to be replaced. Now, things that we do also have to check is when we test drive the vehicle, if we notate there's pulsation or some other type of noise, then that may also play a factor in determining whether it could be resurfaced and reused or needs to be replaced. But just on the condition of the rotor at this point in time, this is definitely a rotor that we could have reused for the customer. This other rotor, on the other hand, you can clearly see how it has been etched into right here, and there are some major grooves. This would be a situation where we would definitely want to replace the rotor. It is not something where we could resurface that. The amount of metal we'd have to take off to get this back to flush would lend it to being way too thin to be reused, and it wouldn't create a good braking experience. So when you start hearing your brakes where they're grinding, making noise, not just kind of squeaking, but really like a grinding and metal on metal, that's when you're definitely, or more likely anyway, to need rotors. So you can very clearly see, I'm going to zoom in here just so you can see the difference here on this portion, about an inch portion of the rotor versus the rest. You can see this is smooth right up here, but very grooved and etched into the metal on this portion of the rotor. There are also other factors that go into whether a rotor can be resurfaced or needs to be replaced. A lot of times size, whether it's vented or solid, if it is drilled or has other types of markings on it. So, anytime we do a brake inspection, we're looking to save you, the customer, money, but we also want to make sure that you're safe, and we want to make sure that you have a good braking experience, right? It doesn't matter if you save a few bucks on resurfacing versus replacing the rotors if it creates other potential issues, either not being able to stop in a timely manner or having a lot of noise or pulsation or a substandard braking experience. So every vehicle is going to be a little bit different, which is again why we prefer to do a brake inspection, be able to give you your options and clearly explain to you once we've seen the vehicle whether the rotors can be saved or need to be replaced. Thanks a lot for listening, and you have a wonderful day.